This is a chance for the Buccaneers to prove something special. A big-time, prime-time Thursday night game against division rival the Atlanta Falcons is coming up tomorrow night, and we have massive news that it is just finally here. It's been teased for weeks, and the time has finally arrived per Adam Schefter, Ian Rappaport, all the big sources. Jump on that subscribe button, guys. We're getting really, really close to 3,000 subscribers. It would mean a ton to get to 3,000 by tomorrow. If we can make that happen, that would mean the world to this channel. We want to get there so we can be in the beauty of the creamsicles, the creamsicle versus Dirty Bird game, and at a 3K marker, less than 100 to go. It would mean, I think we're almost less than 50 now. So it would just be awesome. Anyway, let's just jump right into it because I mean, you know what this video is. You saw the thumbnail. You saw, the big news probably. And it is none other than our boys are coming back in Mike Evans and Jalen McMillan. They have been activated from injured reserve. I mean, glory to the football gods. They have finally answered our prayers, and we have our boys back. They were practicing, but now they have been officially activated. And, I mean, it's looking very likely. At the very least, I mean, Todd Bowles himself said that Mike has done and shown everything he needs to in order to play tomorrow. He didn't say as much about Joe McMillan, but it is also looking very likely that he will play. We'll keep our eye out for that because they both were activated and they both practiced all week. On a short week, obviously, for tomorrow. But it's just, having those guys back is just tremendous. It is just some of the best news that we could hear for this offense that has been really struggling. So in order to make this happen, Ryan Miller was the odd man out today as Bucs got to full strength at receiver. And while he's off the 53-man roster, good chance he's back on the practice squad on Monday. He has had 2 catches for 34 yards and a touchdown, but also 204 snaps on special teams and 8 tackles, both fourth on the team. So he's actually doing some really good stuff there. It would be a bummer if another team took him during the waiver period. Let's hope that doesn't happen. And then speaking about Kadon, it says if Kadon can't go Thursday, would likely be the NFL debut for Tanner Towla, who has spent 3 full seasons on the Bucs practice squad. He's 27, played at Illinois State, has 63 catches in 5 years there. Bucs don't use tight end depth very much, so likely helping on special teams only. We'll see what happens. It does not look like, though, that Cade will be playing. But boy, oh boy, I mean, the big news, obviously, is having the Buccaneer offensive GOAT, Mike Evans, back on the field. With 4 games left on the season, we thought, maybe we'll get him towards the end of the year with 1 or 2 games left. No, he's here with a full month of playoffs or a full month of games left to go, and it couldn't come at a more needed time after a devastating loss to the Saints. It's it's now or never. We have all the pieces besides offensive line. Bredesen is out until the end of the regular season. So guard wise, we're obviously not looking too hot, but it's looking like Tristan Wirfs is going to play, and it's looking like Goodecki should be there, Graham Barton. So at least it's like we have the left, center, and right ends all figured out at this point. It's just a matter of can they stay healthy throughout the game. We sure hope so, and hopefully they can keep back the pass rush as much as possible. But I will be expecting at some point Baker doing some more maneuvering around and doing some of his wild magical escapes. Hopefully it won't be needed too much, but we'll see. But Mike Evans, Jim, I mean, listen, to have both of those guys back, I mean, Jim McMillan has stated many times that, like, Mike is like a mentor to him, and that, during the stretch last year where we lost Mike and Godwin, it was up to McMillan to really kind of carry the load for the receiver room as he was like the number 1 guy during that period. Now, we didn't win any of those games. That was last year's midseason slump, again, against mostly good opponents. But that's not an excuse. So, but again, now we're looking at like Jim McMillan, wide receiver 4 or even 5, considering, Tez Johnson has been getting a ton of those reps. I wouldn't be surprised if they kind of limit him a little bit, but it does look like Mike is going to be pretty close back to his normal self. He's been working like heck to, get back on the field ever since the injury against the Lions game in primetime. And we get to see him one more time in the creamsicle uniforms. It's just going to look so good. I can't wait. I will be at the game tomorrow updating you from the stadium as long as there isn't like a torrential downpour like it was during the Saints game. But I'm very excited to see what the Bucs can do. like the Bucs are desperate to keep themselves above float in the playoff race, and the Falcons, while eliminated, definitely want to ruin our season as best as possible. We are the 4-time reigning division champs. They, definitely don't want to see us win it for a 5th year in a row. So it's just one of those things. It's going to be a battle. Division battles usually are. We just have to hope that Kirk Cousins himself does not just absolutely toast us like he has in the past 2 times we faced him last year. That was a brutal watch. If we're wondering for Mike Evans, he needs just to average just 215 yards per game over the next month to keep his own 1,000-yard streak alive. Greatness finds a way, am I right? I mean, listen, obviously this is going to be extremely unlikely, but, it would be cool if he could throw in a 200-yard game in there at some point. I do believe that's around his career high is around that yardage mark. So if he could just do that 4 times in a row, that'd just be pretty cool. Falcons are going to be without Drake London. Sorry, my dog is squeaking his toy. Drake London is going to be out for tomorrow night, so they will be without their number 1 receiver, and the Bucs will be back at full strength with their receivers. So that's really good timing for the Buccaneers in this case. That means Kyle Pitts will definitely be more targeted in this game, and unfortunately, Pitts has quite the history when it comes to really torching the Buccaneers. Not like crazy much, but so Pitts averages 44 yards per game in his NFL career. That's actually not bad, but he's had at least 47 in all 7 games versus at least 47. I should emphasize in all 7 games that he's played against the Buccaneers. 3 touchdowns versus the Bucs compared to 8 touchdowns in 67 career games against everyone else. Now let's be honest, one of those touchdowns from last year shouldn't have really counted because we know that Antoine made him fumble before he crossed the line. It is what it is, but look out because he's definitely going to be looking to try and torch us once again. But what matters the most is Mike Evans is back on the field, and I do believe that changes a lot about the game plan. There's a lot of guys to cover. Now, this isn't a guarantee. I mean, we still have to get the ball. The ball can only go to one person unless you're lateraling it per play. So the play designs have to be there. Grizzard still has to call a good game. It's not just because, we have all the talent in the world. It'll just solve itself. That's not the case. I just really hope that they have something planned and that, there is a lot of plays that they feel more confident in now that Mike is back, that he can stretch the field, challenge people vertically. The secondary for Atlanta is, they're okay. They're not bad, but they're not great. Got some young guys at corner and safety. But that's kind of where Mike thrives, to be honest, is that he really makes the young guys in the division work for it and really humbles them as he has for the 12 years he's been playing. So, am I expecting a big Mike performance? Yes. I expect greatness every time a Hall of Famer steps on the field. That doesn't mean it's going to happen, but it's a reasonable expectation. I know he's been hurt, but there's like a fire in Mike that I trust, that we've seen over the years. He's ready to pop off. He's tired of all the waiting and being hurt. He doesn't want the sympathy anymore. He wants to go out and just play for his guys and give everything he has and help this team continue for a playoff push, which I think this team still can and should win this division. It's just a matter of, the Panthers games are going to be very, very interesting. And the Dolphins game, they've been on a win streak themselves, so a lot of questions regarding those games. They're going to be a bit harder than we expected, but, who cares? We have to win these games and to prove something to ourselves. I just, first step in front of the other, win tomorrow night against the Falcons. They want to beat us just like we want to beat them really, really badly. So let's just take it to them. Let's have a good offensive performance. It feels like it's been a while since we've been playing consistently together and firing on all cylinders. I think the Bucs fan base is ready for it. I want to have faith in Josh Grizzard. We're not in danger of losing our offensive coordinator this year because, there's like no faith in Grizzard anymore. And it's... I can't say I still have faith, but I have faith that they can make something work in terms of just like they can have a bounce back game. They can turn things around in the sense of it's not impossible. I don't want to completely close that door. It's a lot of injuries, man, and just a lot of really weird stuff this year. Vibes have been a little off. JPP's being brought back, like we mentioned in the other video. And everyone's like wondering, is that because like they're losing the locker room and they just need him for like moral support? How are the guys feeling? Lavonte, he left the field early. I mean, obviously it was wet and disgusting out there. I don't even blame him, and I wouldn't read too much into that. But there is an overall sense of dread that folks are feeling like, are the guys okay? And we just cannot allow that loss, which was a terrible loss, don't get me wrong, to the Saints, like, impact this game. We have to win. Let's sweep the Falcons, man. Take care of business. It's not like it's going to help them get a better draft position in terms of the first round. That's already cooked for them. That belongs to the Rams. So let's just do what we got to do and not let Kirk Cousins absolutely destroy us for a third time in a row. I really don't need that on our conscience. But again, the faith is kind of low with this defense as it is. I know Sebastian Georgiev will not be playing, so it's going to be Jones in at linebacker next to Lavonte David. Probably not much of an upgrade or downgrade there. It's just kind of medium, whatever. I know that Tyke Smith is likely not going to be playing, so we will be having some rotations there in terms of safety availability. We'll just see how it works, man. This defense is kind of all over the place, and I don't anticipate a good game defensively, to be honest. I know that Falcons fans are very frustrated with their inconsistent play on their offense, but our defense has been putrid since the bye week, so I'm not expecting much out of them either. So should be a real interesting one. But I'm still excited to watch the game. I think the uniform matchup is going to look glorious. And it's just a win, a nice win, a good win would feel really nice because I know the win over the Cardinals, a lot of people weren't feeling great about that. We need a very moral, not just a moral victory, but just something to lift the spirits of everyone. An actual victory, obviously, but a game with Mike Evans, with all these guys just firing on all cylinders, and just a fun game. Let's get a fun game going. Let's get some turnovers, all that stuff. Whatever it takes, man. Let's get the dub. Let's get some good vibes in the comments. Let me down below. Let's get to 3,000 subscribers by tomorrow. It would mean a ton. It's going to be interesting. Whatever happens, it will be a very interesting conversation Thursday night to Friday morning. So until the game, guys, I'll see you then.